What if some of the struggles, disappointments, or attacks in your life began the moment you shared something that should have stayed private? Not because God was punishing you and not because what you felt or experienced was wrong, but because timing matters. Audience matters. And Scripture repeatedly shows that not everything God reveals to you is meant for public announcement. There are things God shows you, tells you, or gives you that He never intended for everyone to know. Not because He's hiding something from the world, but because some things are still being formed, and the wrong eyes at the wrong time can interrupt what He's building. Today we're walking through 6 things the Bible consistently warns us to hold close instead of broadcasting. And by the time we reach the 6th one, you may realize you've been doing it without even noticing. This isn't about secrecy out of fear. It's about wisdom. Throughout Scripture, wise speech and timing aren't treated as small details. They're treated as matters of life and death. Several of the most painful seasons in the lives of biblical figures began the moment they spoke too soon to the wrong people about the wrong thing. Let's start with the first one, because it's a sting almost every believer has felt. God gives you a glimpse of where He's taking you, a dream, a vision, a sense of destiny, and your first instinct is to tell someone. Anyone. Everyone. Joseph did exactly that. In Genesis 37, God gave him dreams pointing toward a future of honor and authority, and Joseph, young and unguarded, told his brothers exactly what he saw. He didn't sense that what God had shown him wasn't ready for public consumption. The result wasn't celebration. It was resentment that grew into a plot, a betrayal, and years in a pit and a prison before that dream ever came true. Notice that the dream itself was real. God truly had called Joseph. The problem was never the dream. It was broadcasting it before its time. When you tell everyone what God is calling you toward, you hand them the chance to either celebrate it with you or quietly compete with it, doubt it, or resent it. Not everyone carries the spiritual maturity to hold someone else's calling without comparing it to their own. So ask yourself honestly, when God shows you something about your future, are you sharing it because He told you to declare it, or because you simply wanted to be seen? Dreams aren't the only thing we tend to overshare. Plans are just as vulnerable. In Nehemiah 2, before Nehemiah ever announced his plan to rebuild Jerusalem's broken walls, he did something easy to miss. He inspected the ruins quietly at night, telling no one what he was doing. He gathered information. He prayed. He prepared. Only after that did he reveal his plan, and even then, only to the people who needed to know. There's wisdom buried in that quiet inspection. Nehemiah understood that announcing a plan before it has any foundation invites unnecessary opposition, unsolicited opinions, and doubt that can talk you out of something God already confirmed in private. How many God-given plans have you talked yourself out of, simply because you exposed them too early to people who were never meant to weigh in? Sometimes wisdom doesn't look like silence out of fear. It looks like a builder quietly inspecting the wall before anyone else even knows there's a wall to rebuild. The third thing Scripture warns us about isn't a dream or a plan. It's something far more personal. The good we do. In Matthew 6, Jesus says not to announce your giving the way some did in the streets, sounding a trumpet so everyone would notice. He says to give so quietly that, in His words, your left hand shouldn't even know what your right hand is doing. This isn't a command to do good out of shame or hiding. It's a warning about where your reward comes from. The moment you broadcast your generosity, your service, your sacrifice, you've already cashed in the applause you were quietly hoping for. And Jesus says plainly, that applause is the only reward you'll get. There's a quiet kind of integrity in doing good and letting no one know but God. Ask yourself honestly, the last time you helped someone, served somewhere, or gave something away, who did you tell and why? But the most overlooked one is still ahead, and it's the one many believers unintentionally violate every single day, often without realizing they're doing it at all. The fourth thing many Christians struggle to hold close is their spiritual experiences. The moments God speaks clearly, reveals something powerful, or moves in a way that takes their breath away. Paul had this kind of experience. In 2 Corinthians 12, he describes being caught up into paradise, hearing things he wasn't even permitted to repeat. And what's remarkable is his restraint. He doesn't turn it into a headline. He barely talks about it at all, and only does so reluctantly to defend his ministry, not to impress anyone. Compare that to how easily we share every prophetic word, every powerful dream, every emotional encounter with God within minutes of it happening, sometimes before we've even had time to process what it meant. Not every spiritual experience is meant to become content. Some are meant to be treasured quietly, the way Mary treasured what was spoken about her son and pondered it in her heart rather than explaining it to everyone who asked. Before your next powerful moment with God becomes a post, ask yourself, is this for an audience, or is this between Him and me? And honestly, the fifth one may be the reason some believers stay stuck for years without realizing it. Your personal weaknesses, struggles, and temptations. Scripture is clear that we need community. We're told to confess to one another, to carry each other's burdens, to seek wise counsel. But Proverbs is just as clear that not every ear is a safe one. A gossip betrays a confidence, while a trustworthy person keeps a matter close. Walking with the wise makes you wise, but a companion of fools will suffer for it. This means discernment matters every bit as much as honesty. Vulnerability isn't weakness, but vulnerability with the wrong person, at the wrong time, can turn your healing into someone else's entertainment, or worse, their ammunition. Ask yourself, when you open up about your struggles, are you choosing people who will carry it to the Lord in prayer, or people who will simply carry it to someone else? And finally, the sixth, the blessing God is still developing in your life. Not every open door is a finished testimony thing. Some blessings are seeds, not harvests, and a seed sown to the wrong soil too soon can be trampled before it ever takes root. This isn't about hiding gratitude. It's about protecting what's still fragile. A relationship still being tested. A door that opened but hasn't fully closed behind you yet. A breakthrough still being confirmed. Wisdom sometimes says, give thanks to God quietly and let the world see it once it's strong enough to stand on its own. So, which of these six has quietly become a habit in your life? Maybe it's none of them. Maybe it's more than one. This was never about fear, and it was never about secrecy for its own sake. It's about understanding that timing, audience, and discernment are part of biblical wisdom. Not the absence of faith, but the practice of it. So before you share your next dream, your next plan, your next victory, your next struggle, or your next blessing, ask yourself one simple question. Has God called me to announce this? Or has He called me to steward it quietly first? If this message helped you see your own life a little more clearly, consider subscribing to Covenant Noir for more biblical wisdom, Christian growth, and faith-building content like this one. And tell us in the comments, which of these 6 areas challenged you the most?